Hello survivors and welcome to Tribros Gaming. Guys, it is Thanksgiving on the day of this upload and I realize that. But I want to just say thank you. And I mean, not a cliche kind of way. I really want to say thank you for watching my videos and enjoying them. And today we hit 13,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I can't believe it. I mean, it's a big milestone and one that you never think you'd ever achieve. I think I mentioned last video that like my main goal when I created this channel was like, all right, 100 subs, and that would be legit. That would be where I want to be, and it's crazy to see kind of where it's gone. So I am very thankful for that, and I'm thankful that you guys watch my videos. I do appreciate it. We put a lot of time into them, so it's always awesome to get positive feedback. Now I'm going to quit talking about that and actually get into the point of today's video. If you guys remember when I built the honeycomb base video, I mentioned that I would show you how to defend your roof better. Now there's been a little bit of a delay on that because I've actually been trying to put a little bit of studying into what makes a strong roof. Now I basically came up with two different methods that I think are pretty legitimate and will work pretty well, and I've also kind of tested them. But first, you might be wondering, why is it important that you have a strong roof? Well, I will say probably more times than not, people are going to raid your base from the roof. That's just how it goes. So let's take a look at that honeycomb base and let's see how I would actually raid it. Now, obviously, that was just a silly little demonstration for purposes of the video, but most people are going to be looking for your roof as an easy way in because a lot of people don't put effort in protecting it. When you look at roof defense, there's really two main things that you have to focus on. One is obviously explosions, because if you put claim flags down and defend it properly where players can't even get on your roof, they're going to have to attack it from the sky, which usually means rocket launchers or them dropping grenades down. So you really have to kind of like prepare for that. The other thing, of course, being players actually getting on top and maybe like blowtorching their way through, if that still even is a thing, if players even do that anymore. So with this first method, I think it does a great job of protecting against the players actually getting up onto your roof. As you can see here, we basically built an extension that comes out that has a open slots for neutral sentries to be placed, and basically they cover all different angles of the roof. Now, the bigger the roof, the more of these you might want to have in there, assuming you can build that. Now, as you can see, the sentries are being protected by a metal roof on top, as well as large metal plates on the side with the ramparts. You want to keep the plates, or these sentries, protected because obviously this is like the main bulk of your defense. Now, I'm also placing down large slippery metal plates, which I don't think a lot of people actually even know exist in the game. But basically, if you take a large metal plate, which is the bumpy, rough-looking metal plate, if you take that and maple syrup, you actually can mix them together to make a slippery plate. And so if you sit on this slippery plate, stand on it, run on it, you'll slide that much more, which is pretty cool, and I think that's a cool little aspect to this. Also, if you were to place maybe some spikes, some pine spikes, or any kind of spikes really on the roof as well, it's a possibility that players can slide into them if they land on it. Now, the reason I don't like just put a million spikes on the top of this roof is because I almost want players to think that they're safe to come maybe land their heli on it, or to come like paratroop down on top of it. That way they can actually be killed by my sentries. So I'm trying to invite people to try to land, and making that ultimately their biggest mistake. So as you can see, I'm taking shots now at the base with a rocket launcher, clearly hitting it 3 times, and really the only reason it got affected is because I shot the wrong part with it, but as you can see, it did a very good job of like blast protection of keeping the surrounding area safe. Of course, I missed my shot, which if you're a good shot and did that on purpose, good for you. But if not, and just a bad shot like me, then that's a bad thing to screw that up. But yeah, it withstands very well, and I was actually really impressed by it. But let's go ahead and take a look at this next base design. So this next one is pretty similar to honeycombing walls. Like, ultimately, the idea here is the more junk you put on, that's what people are going to have to go through. So the idea is to put down layers of metal plates and layer them with maybe tank traps, or just layer them with metal objects. So you could put a ton of large metal plates down, since tank traps are a little bit unrealistic because you'll have to get blow torches to build those. But let's just say you use a ton of large metal plates. I mean, that's good. I mean, it's good because it's increasing that health. But I'm not sure if blast radius still will affect all of the metal parts. So if you put like 10 large metal plates on top of each other and hit the top one directly in the middle, I'm not sure if that blast radius will actually affect all of them. So them being so close might actually become a bit of an issue. Oddly enough, this kind of reminds me of just an Oreo. So I don't know if just layering reminds me of an Oreo. So if I had to call this something, I guess I would call this Oreoing the top. You might also notice me putting the large slippery plates on top of these. Dude, I think these are just a cool little addition that not very many people use. So I think this would go good on almost any roof, honestly. And then, of course, I also spiked this roof out. Now, the idea here is you get this thick roof that people can't just punch through, people can't just kind of break through easily, as well as putting like spikes on the top. Almost say, hey, if you try to jump out of your heli onto this thing, you're gonna die. If you land your heli onto this thing, there's a good chance you won't get off without taking some sort of damage. So it is like a good kind of idea. Of course, there's minor setbacks. Like if somebody was to shoot the roof with an RPG, it would take the spikes off and then they could land, which would obviously take away the strong point of your defense away from the roof. Now, this is a cool idea. Of course, it takes a lot of resources just to build this one little thing. That's one of the big drawbacks. So I almost like the simplicity and the easy to build nature of the first method more, and I think that's why it's a little bit better of an option. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, these aren't very good. Well, this is the main roof portion. Obviously, you want to do add-ons to make it stronger. My friend Weed Warrior has mentioned building like towers that are connected to the base that go one level above your roof level, that have windows with shutters in them, so that if you do start to become under a raid, you can actually open the shutters and fight from those angles as well, making it a lot stronger. It is very, very important that you put claim flags on your base. That way people can't place charges. If people are able to place charges, then they can easily bust in through. So claim flags are a must, guys. You gotta have claim flags. It's essential to the build. Now, one final thing I want to say. Ultimately, guys, I was using a lot of firepower. I'm not suggesting that the servers you play on are going to have that much firepower, such as rockets and missiles and stuff like that. So one more thing, guys, regarding the roof defense. Really, there is no way to 100% protect any roof. With the right amount of explosives and time, really anybody can get in through a roof if they wanted to that badly. Now, if you're playing on a creative server, clearly this is going to be a lot easier to achieve than a survival server. So really, it takes maintenance. It takes you to be on, and that's what'll keep your roof going. That's what'll keep your base going, and people trying to get in from the top. Ultimately, the 100% way to make a roof unraidable is to build underneath an object, such as a bridge. If you were to go to Liberation Bridge and build literally right under it, take the top of your roof to the very undermost section of that bridge, then people can't raid your roof. That's the only way to make an unraidable roof. And And so if that's what you're going for, that's what I recommend doing. But these two methods that I showed you are both good methods, and it's something that you should try in your server. So with that being said, guys, go enjoy your Thanksgiving, spend it with your family, and I really do appreciate you for watching. Thank you guys so much for 13,000 subscribers, and with all of that being said, keep on surviving, survivors.